Hello everyone, welcome back to the Panzer Dragoon Remake playthrough. In this part, we've got level 4, which is... this is a level I'm really conflicted about, because on one hand, I think that this level is really cool in terms of, like, what you're doing. Like, you're flying through this cave, there's enemies going past you really fast. Like, it's a very fast-paced and fun level.
Techno
But
cave.
it's also... Yeah, the lighting in this level I really enjoy, like the glowy neon bloom stuff. I think it's really neat. But in terms of, like, gameplay, this is my least favorite level in the game, because this is one of the only times where I feel like the game isn't as good about, you know, giving you a split second to react to stuff. There's a lot of points where I feel like you don't really know how to, like...
Yeah, it's felt like it hasn't given you much time to react to this stuff coming from behind or the front.
Yeah, and it also doesn't help that since it's, like, you're in a cave, it's very cramped and there's not a lot of room to dodge. So, this is, I would say, the hardest level in the game, and it's the one I generally have the most time. I take the most damage playing, I guess I should say.
Yeah.
Also, the boss fight can take takes a while to, like, understand how you're supposed to beat it, especially on the first time you get through, but after you figure out what...
Oh, is it like the bomb boss in 64 for Star Fox?
Which one is that? I haven't played that
The
game.
one on the poison water planet, and you can only damage it by shooting bombs at it until all of its armor breaks off.
Yeah, it's similar to that. So, you notice that I'm shooting the blue lasers at the enemies most of the time. You do that by holding down the fire button and then...
Hold A to charge your laser.
Yes, you do that by holding down the fire button and then aiming the reticle over the enemy. You lock on, you release, and then you'll shoot the homing laser. The boss is mostly immune to those, so in order to beat the boss, you will need to shoot the pellets out.
The rapid fire, yeah. I feel like this is the kind of level that makes more sense when you remember that the game is Japanese. Because, like, Japanese gamers are, like, way more into the whole really fast reaction kind of shoot-'em-up games.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, that's just bullet hell in a nutshell.
Also, I am getting major flashbacks to Pandora's Temple of Deceit from Kid Icarus.
Oh, man, I haven't... Oh, dude. Kid Icarus Uprising. You know what? That's actually... We were talking about this, not in a different place.
But yeah, no, I'm getting a lot more flashbacks to that level from this game than I am anything from Star Fox.
Yeah, I mean, the gameplay is Star Fox, but the visuals are not.
Yeah.
It's interesting, though. Kid Icarus was a game that, you know, has a very similar formula for the flying sections, but it did a ground section kind of segment as well, which typically doesn't work for this kind of thing, and it made it work. So I guess it helps in that the ground section...
Combination, Kid Icarus was a ground-based platformer to begin with. Two, it fixed a lot of the problems Assault's ground missions had. For Star Fox Assault.
What problems did Star Fox Assault specifically have?
The weapons weren't very good. The weapon control wasn't super good, and every ground mission was basically destroy the X number of things and then go.
Yeah.
There wasn't a lot of variety to it, so that was why when we did that game I said, the ground idea isn't a bad one. It makes sense for Star Fox. It's just you need to, well, one, tighten the control, and two, give you more to do with it, because they didn't do much with it.
Oh boy.
Yeah, so this is the guy I'm talking about. If you try to shoot the homing lasers, I will say that the game does give you a visual cue that your attacks aren't working, because, like, he's got the big arms, right? If you try to shoot the homing lasers at him, he will, like, block them aside by moving his arm to kind of, like, swipe them away, and you will obviously not do any damage, so that's supposed to be your cue to try something else. It's just that he's also pretty hard, so you might die before you realize that what you need to do is mash the shoot button at him.
Because normally I would think that if he's blocking it, I just have to wait until he does a super obvious move that I can counter or something, or shoot when his defenses are low.
Yeah,
or
like
something.
fighting.
I think, like, if when he's doing that attack where he, like, pushes out the wing and it comes towards you, you might be able to get a homing shot in on him then, because the wing's gone, and that's what he uses to block. But it is just much faster to shoot the pellets at him instead. And sometimes when he's doing certain animations, you can hit him with a...
Yeah, it's kind of like fighting Nemesis in Resident Evil 3 Remake, where he'll actively dodge a lot of your big guns. Unless you catch him when he's, like, venting the heat from his flamethrower or something.
How did they try to make him harder to deal with in the remake, or
he's a lot more scripted.
He's a lot
more scripted.
Yeah, he appears less frequently and less randomly, and he also has like more than he also has like more than one mandatory boss fight.
Okay. Because I know that the whole point about him is that, you know, he could show up whenever and you were supposed to run, but if you did decide to fight him, you got goodies for it.
There are a few occasions during the early game where you can take him down with like a grenade or something and get a gun upgrade from him, which is neat. It's cool that they brought that back, but he's not as much on your ass as he was in the original Resi 3, so it doesn't feel quite as integrated.
Okay. I mean, I'm sure we'll do a commentary on that game sooner.
It's only like 6 hours when you know what you're doing.
Yeah.
Well, the RE2 remake was also that short.
Well,
the difference is that has 2 different campaigns.
The B rank is a 4-hour playthrough, so that's the
Oof.
B rank. So.
Oh, okay. And like, what's the A rank? Got to be like what?
2 hours or something.
2 hours. Okay, yeah. That's pretty short.
Yeah,
I'm sure Lewis will record it for us.
Yeah, I'll get to it. It's a damn good game. Not a super long one, and in some ways I'd say Resi 2 Remake is a better game, but I really liked it.
You know, there's just been a lot of remakes coming out within like this past month. We got this Final Fantasy, Resident Evil. I suppose it's more of a port, but Persona came out as well. It's just, I guess, the time of the year where people want to remake old PS1 Saturn games.
Well, Persona 5 Royal, as it happens, was more a thing that they've been working on for a while because they... I was surprised to hear this. They didn't actually have that much time to make the original Persona 5, which explains some of its rough edges, actually.
Well, that's surprising because they were working on that game since like 2011.
Not actually.
They completely changed focus after the earthquake.
Yeah, they did completely change focus. But a lot of the time they were working on from after Persona 4 was mostly just concept development. But after the earthquake, they changed it from this globe-trotting backpacking adventure to what we got in this game. You know, a show of patriotism, you could say.
Also, I heard that during the gameplay set, when they were doing all this gameplay testing, they ran into multiple redos just because they weren't getting anything right.
Yeah, Persona 4 The Golden was actually, in many ways, a test run for a lot of mechanics that made it into Persona 5 in its final version.
So, effectively, the version that they were working on before they delayed it is a completely different game than the one we got. So, kind of...
Yep.
The first story that comes to my mind with something similar is Resident Evil 4, where, you know, they were making the ghosty version of Resident Evil 4, ended up...
Well, there was a version even before that, so...
That was the one that became Dante,
Devil May Cry.
Yeah, okay. So, yeah, but, like, the ghosty version of Resident Evil 4 is so different that it's not even really the same game.
But like,
so realistically, they only got like 2 years to do Persona 5.
Yeah, I was pessimistic about Persona 5 Royal based on my experience with Golden, but it's obvious they were a lot more focused on Royal than they were on Golden. It is, like, in every conceivable way, a superior version of the game.
Okay, that's good, because I know that a lot of people didn't like Golden and the story changes they did with it. Like, I know that people hate Marie.
Golden changed a lot of stuff for no real reason.
I'm sitting I'm sitting at the end of the third arc in Persona 5, and the most obtrusive changes to the story was just a net positive to every single scene involving Akechi, whose character was a bit anemic in the original game. So,
but he's the best character in the game.
Fangirls love him anyway.
He's so cute.
Okay, his main plot role in the original game conceptually was really cool, but his confidant scenes were all just like him showing up, talking about how he's going after the Phantom Thieves, and then walking away, rank up.
Who wants to talk about murder?
Yeah. His confidant ranks would happen automatically as the plot progressed, and they were pretty much nothing scenes. In Royal, every one of them except for the first one and the last one or at least the last two, is a scene that you have to go out of your way to do during your regular schedule, and they are completely redone scenes in completely new locations with completely different dialogue and different points. So it's a definite improvement. I love what they've done with Akechi. But as for Dr. Maruki, I've hit a plot gate with him. I can't progress him past rank 5. And as for Kasumi, surprisingly slow burn with her.
That's the new character, right?
Yes. Very slow burn with her, and I'm surprised by how well they integrated her into the events that have actually happened. She is definitely one that I'm looking forward to seeing where they go with. But I'm getting serious flashbacks to Persona 3 Portable's female protagonist social links with Yukari, because her schedule is extremely specific to what point in the game you're at, and it's going to be like, if you do every single one of their of her ranks as they become available, you're going to be waiting a while in between ranks before the next one shows up. So, yeah. I'm probably the only person in the room who knows what I was talking about when it comes to that.
Well, I
know generally what you mean.
Well, when I played Persona 3, the bit I did play as the female character, who has the better music, I will say.
Yeah.
I'm not, like, a huge fan of the general, like, J-pop kind of style they go for in Persona a lot of the time. It's not all J-pop, but you know what I mean. But the female protagonist from Persona 3's map screen music is extremely catchy.
Yes, it is.
Yeah. Yeah. Love that track. But anyway, yeah, it's interesting to see the changes in that game. It's also, I mean, maybe it might be the pressing global situation, and also the fact that a bunch of other high-profile games came out around the same time, but I have not seen as many people talking about the Persona 5 port as I kind of expected.
One, it's technically an updated version of a game that's still fairly recent.
I mean, there is that, yes, but at the same time, Dragon Quest got more exposure when that was ported versus less when Persona.
I think that has a little bit more to do with Nintendo pushing it so hard.
Yeah.
Yes, that could very much be true. I'm sure, having Doom and Animal Crossing and Final Fantasy VII right around the corner,
and Remake 3
and Resident Evil 3 has not helped it very much, because I'm sure a lot of people have already played the game, so it's just like, why buy this game?
Why buy a new version?
Yeah, well, I'll say it right now, just like, it's the best version of the game by a country mile. So if you like Persona 5 at all, at some point, you kind of owe it to yourself to play Royal.
Well, I mean, I'm sure a lot of people will get it as opposed to playing the original again, if they ever feel like replaying it. It's just, I understand that it's hard to justify buying the same game again when it's just like, I could either buy Doom or Persona 5, and I think...
Which I already have Persona 5.
Yeah, well, here's a definite selling point, though. Morgana isn't a fucking helicopter mom telling you to go to sleep all the goddamn time. You can actually do a lot of nighttime stuff on the nights you go to Mementos, or even on plot nights that were previously, like, completely locked down. So the pacing of the social life simulator stuff is a hell of a lot better.
Okay, viewers. It's been a long part. You should go to bed now.
No, you should go down to the cafe, call Kawakami to make coffee for you, and then sit down there reading about, like, pickup artistry or something. That's what you should do.
What do you mean, Pokemon Trainer Ted? It's been a while. You should probably save.
Oh.
Your Pokemon took 1 HP of damage. You should probably go to the Pokemon Center. I just left the Pokemon Center.
I mean, at least Sword and Shield autosave for you now, though, right?
Sword and Shield do autosave, yeah, and one of the times they do autosave is when you go into a Pokemon Center.
Yeah, so at least there's that. I don't remember Pokemon nagging me too much to save, if I remember correctly.
I don't remember it doing that either.
I do remember nagging.
It's more general Rotom Dex nagging.
Oh yeah, the Rotom Dex. Oh, freaking hate that guy.
Thankfully, the Rotom Dex does not do that in Sword and Shield.
In any case, we might actually talk about the game when we get to the finale of Panzer Dragoon Remake next time. See you then.